We'll now be speaking to Ngwakwana Moloto, Chief Risk Officer of Tsa Afrika Resources and Projects, Pty Ltd. Ngwakwana Moloto is a founding member and CRO of Tsa Afrika Resources and Projects Pty Ltd, a Pan-African risk assurance and project specialist firm. She leads a service platform that digitally connects engineers, business architects, and solution thinkers across Africa, Middle East, and Asia, collaborating with African industrialists for 4IR solutions in transport risk. Welcome. So happy to have you join us today.
Thank you.
So my first question to you is, what do you believe is your role as a woman leading in transport?
I believe my role is, first of all, to be the mouthpiece of women in the industry in general. I also believe there's underrepresentation in certain spaces within the industry where we need to advocate for women's safety and needs in terms of traveling from point A to point B. So really my role is just to inspire young women. It's to be the bridge between the policymakers, the industry players, and startups within the industry to ensure that, you know, with a risk lens, we can incubate them and actually launch their products or services in the market in which they choose to serve.
Great. My next question would be, how did you get to where you are today?
Well, it's been a combination, I think, of years in the making. I've been in the corporate space for over 20 years, primarily in banking. I've always been in a risk platform with technology. I have a background in computer science as well. So for me, it's really just been a journey of reading a lot about the industry, venturing out, and ultimately really just looking at how I can contribute to the economy in an industry that I believe is heavily digitized at the moment and requires a lot of innovation from a Pan-African perspective. So a lot of reading, a lot of association, a lot of participating in webinars, conferences, and really speaking at different platforms to encourage women to enter the industry.
Great, yeah, very important, as we know. And what message would you like to share with young women in particular who want to get involved in the transport sector?
I think first and foremost, association is important. I think having an idea really just remains an idea unless you can energize it and engage with different people. So for me, I think as young people, they may have a lot more time on their hands. So there's opportunities to volunteer, to be the champion for the cause. I really think joining different chambers of commerce is important and really participating in any avenue, you know, getting skilled up in knowledge, looking at transport logistics, what qualifications one can seek, but more importantly, just get into the knowledge world. You know, really just research on Wikipedia, on the internet, and go and speak to specialists in the space, you know, professors and real industry key players. That's a good start for young people, I would suggest.
Yeah, that's great advice. And I think there's a lot of people out there who want to share their knowledge and they want to help change the industry and get more women involved. So I'm sure that they would be more than willing to help. So what if a bit more of a personal question now for me is, I'd like to know who or what is or has been your inspiration?
Sure. I'm an avid reader of biographies, and I always have a deep, keen interest in leadership science. So people that inspire me are women around me, and also some of the men around me, actually. My mother specifically has always been a constant figure in really motivating me to go out and do what I think might be impossible. Teachers from high school who've always been there dedicated, helping me to grow. And really just from a mindset perspective, really the social butterflies, as I refer to them, who actually allow me into their personal spaces and their career spaces. So those are the people that inspire me.
Great, thank you for that. So next up is, as we know, women wear many hats. How do you find the balance between work and personal life?
I always try to split work and personal, not always easy, but I do find self-care time and downtime, as I refer to it, and really just get off tech. I think in the world of business today, we highly digitized. We have less emotional conversations and deep thinking conversations. So for me, really just to balance it is just to log off, rejuvenate, take a walk, read a book, or listen to, good classical music often helps me get through the day.
Yeah, that's great as well. I think it is very hard to find that balance, but it is so important to have it. And I just think it makes us just be more focused when we are at work. But as you say, everything is just so easily accessible nowadays. We really have to try and draw that line between our balance and our work, which is, as you mentioned, not always easy. Yes. So you did mention a couple of things, but is there anything else that you do in your downtime?
I try to make it to gym. I'm not always successful. But yes, I actually am taking a keen interest, in my motivational speaking. That's downtime for me. It's not really work. It comes quite naturally. Maybe because I really do believe that I think a proverb I read many years ago, I'm not sure who's the author, but a candle loses nothing by lighting another candle. And that's for me, my downtime, to really just listen and talk and impart knowledge is what I do. And it really, really helps me just to get a sense of what what you do actually can aid and support somebody take the next step.
That's great. So yeah, downtime and being inspirational at the same time. So great. And yes, it's not always easy to get to the gym. But I do myself, I'm forcing myself to go for a walk or do some exercise before work because I think it really sets the tone for the day. It's a bit hard in winter to try and work and then get to the gym afterwards. We just want to get under the covers in this cold weather. Another personal question. Is there anything or one thing that nobody knows about you that you can share with us?
Well, I guess after now they'll know. But actually, I've been studying the cold climate. I really have a deep inspiration in the last, I think, year or two to travel to Antarctica. And it's just something very strange. But I've been studying a lot about Svalbard, which is the northern part of Norway, and just fascinated how people actually just make life out of very small, simple things that we take for granted in South Africa because of our warm weather. And it's not scientific at all. I think it's just around human nature and human development, and the strength of mental agility is what I've really been up to. And really nobody knows that's just my keen inspiration, but I just can't wait to swim with the polar bears, if you will. Hopefully that will happen.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing that with us. That's great. And just to wrap up, what message can viewers go away with after this discussion? What do you want people to leave with after our chat today?
I think people should really be inspired, I think, to break their ground in transport or transport logistics. It's such a broad industry, and it's the backbone of the economy, quite frankly. Moving goods and transport, it's just the way economies are built. It's the way economies are sustained. So it's an avenue where one will always be relevant. But secondly, I think is to be inspired by women in all different spaces, and not just in transport, but there's so many avenues, around technology, around data, around creativity and innovation. So there's really no one who will be left behind if they don't take part in the transport industry. So hopefully after this conversation and discussion, people will be inspired to read more, research more, participate, come up with new business and social ideas for positive change, and go out and follow their dreams, whatever they might be.
Absolutely. Thank you. And I think I'm going to pop onto camera quickly and thank you for spending some time with us today. I think it's you've been exceptionally inspirational. You sound very busy with all your reading and your studying and all of that sort of thing. But I think you're right. There are so many inspirational women around us all the time. So to support one another and to talk to one another and I hope to see you. We've got our Smarter Mobility Africa Summit in October. So I hope to see you there in person. And if anyone wants to join, I've put the website URL at the bottom, and you can go and have a look at our speakers, at our program, and register. So happy Women's Month. We're not going to limit it to a day. So happy Women's Month.
Oh, great.
Celebrate the women, you too. Celebrate the women the whole month. And look forward to meeting you soon. Thank you for your time.
Look forward to being there. Thanks a million for your time. I really appreciate it. Have an awesome day.
You too. Thank you.
Cheers. Bye.